Musicians call this a rockin' resurrection, the return of Magnatone guitar amplifiers. More than 40 years after the original company in Los Angeles folded, a St. Louis startup bought the legendary Magnatone name, releasing a new line of Magnatone models, bringing back the iconic pitch-shifting vibrato effect. The man behind the comeback is Magnatone's CEO and president, Ted Kornblum.
These are all new Magnatones, made better than the old ones, but with the same vibrato. We got the brown traditional, got the black master, and this is the burgundy studio.
Magnatone engineers used the patented vibrato circuit from 1958 as their design platform.
What vibrato is it's the pitch shifting of a note played by an instrument into an amplifier, and then the result of that can be either slowed down or sped up, and then you can also increase or decrease the intensity of that. Magnatone made it available in the first presentation that they did when they patented it, a stereo pitch shifting vibrato circuit, 2 speakers.
Kornblum says his desire to bring back Magnatone has a lot to do with his family history. His grandfather owned St. Louis Music. Then his father manufactured guitars and Ampeg amplifiers. Kornblum was brought into the family business when he was a teenager.
When I was 16 years old, I wanted to learn what it was like for a musician to play a product, and my family owned Amplifiers guitars and we owned Ampeg amplifiers. So I wanted to bring these products to them at the age of 16. So I was a 16-year-old kid bringing guitars and amplifiers to bands and saying, "What do you think? You want to try?"
Over the years, he met some of the world's most famous musicians. Music and the big names became a big part of his life. He said he understood the business and saw an opportunity.
I was flipping through these catalogs thinking to myself, am I going to work for my dad the rest of my life?
And that's when he became inspired.
And I come across a page and it's like, holy cow, there's this company Magnatone.
So he started learning more about Magnatone and the musicians who used the brand.
Neil Young is really one of the more known artists that has been using Magnatone in addition to his Fender amplifier. Neil was a very good example of a vibrato sounding musician.
He discovered rock and roll pioneer Buddy Holly also played through a Magnatone amplifier, a 1958 Magnatone Custom 280. Kornblum said he needed to make a move.
I typed in Magnatone in the Patent Trademark Office. This trademark was expired.
He said he bought the Magnatone name for $500, sitting on it until he was ready.
And then I went on eBay and went and bought everything that said Magnatone on it, and no one really was thinking Magnatone, and no one knew I owned this name Magnatone.
Then he found the right time and place with the right kind of people.
I don't know why it said psychiatric ward. When we moved in, it said psychiatric ward. It was this way before we moved in. All new Magnatone. Everything in this room is made today.
His engineers tweaked the original vibrato circuit, improving the integrity for modern amp designs.
The innovation is that we are doing things kind of the old way and improving on some kind of old technologies and marrying them together with some new technologies to create an even better sounding amplifier, a much more robust and roadworthy amplifier. These amplifiers are much more powerful.
The vacuum tube amplifier still featured the pitch-shifting vibrato effect.
True vibrato circuit that could pitch bend, actually bend the pitch of the note. We're achieving that with using varistors that are made of a silicon carbide material. This is a varistor or varistor, however you want to pronounce it. This is the silicon carbide material here, and this is what it actually becomes. The low frequency oscillator, or LFO as we call it, is much different than the old one. It's able to go as fast as the old one, but the beauty of it is you're able to slow this one down and almost park the effect to where there's hardly any movement whatsoever.
Kornblum says he didn't need to do a lot of marketing with musicians who know the brand. When the amps first rolled out, he said there was a list of musicians who bought them. Neil Young was among the first.
And he started playing them for the first time about 2 years after having been in market, playing them on tour and in the studio.
And Kornblum's longtime friend Billy Gibbons from ZZ Top.
What Billy's using, we refer to them as the Master Collection, and their black covering.
Kornblum spent time on the road, like he did in his youth, among the musicians and being part of their accomplished sound. He says Magnatone has always been part of rock and roll history, and now he's making sure it's here to stay.